I'm going to show you today how to make a steady monthly income with stocks and ETFs, and also not only get that income, but also take advantage of the increase in market value of the major indexes and to dramatically reduce the drawdowns on your index funds. Now, you might be thinking, oh, Barry's talking about dividend stocks. Nope, I'm not. Dividend stocks, they're fine. They can have their place, but I'm going to show you a more creative way. So as you can see here, we are looking at this. So at this website, by the way, this is at Invesco.com. And let's see, that actually is, there you go, Invesco.com. Okay, so got to give credit where credit is due. And this is what they're talking about. Equity exposure. Now, equity exposure means exposure to the stock market. Plus, so by the way, real quick on that. So that means that when the markets go up, you can gain, get capital gains on that. And then, but in addition to that, income consistently. So they say, well, think consistent high income, equity exposure, and less volatility. By the way, that's the third element, less volatility. So especially as you get older, but you could do this at any age, you know, volatility is kind of your enemy. The shorter period of time that you have to potentially live, you can't really afford to be as risky and hold through major drawdowns. So we want less volatility. All right, so they call these the Invesco Income Advantage ETFs. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by them. I have no interest, financial interest in Invesco whatsoever. And there's other ones. So don't just look at this one, look at other companies as well and compare. Now, here's what these types of funds are offering. They offer growth potential. Okay. Again, with trusted equity indexes. That's key because you are allocating your funds over the indexes, so a bunch of stocks, not just one stock. So that's part of diversification, right? Then designed to deliver high and consistent income that's not dependent on the level of interest rates. Ooh, that's huge. That's huge. Not dependent on the level of interest rates. Oh, wait a minute, tell me more. And then, as I was saying, created to provide downside risk mitigation and less volatility. So when stocks go down, these tend to go down less. And you're getting an income, monthly income, by the way, that can be much higher than the level of interest rates or the Fed rate. And you still get the upside of equity index, seeing like the best of all worlds, right? Okay, so what the heck is this and how do they accomplish this? So what this vehicle is, it's called a covered call ETF. Covered call exchange traded fund. So they're not generating the income through dividends. This is why they can outperform the monthly income. Now they're actively managed. They hold a portfolio of stocks while writing call options. So, okay. And then to generate income, typically aiming for high monthly dividends. They excel in flat or sideways markets by converting potential upside into cash flow, but often underperform in strong bull markets due to the capped gains. Now, how do they work? Portfolio holding. All right. So here's just some examples to get you a little more detail on it. Portfolio, the ETF stocks, for example, they'll hold the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ 100. So again, they're holding equity indexes, not individual stocks, although I've seen some of these offered on individual stocks as well. But this is to mitigate risk, again, mitigate volatility, mitigate. When I say mitigate, don't think that word means eliminate. I'm not. I'm not meaning that, but we've got diversification over major, like here's just two of the major indexes. You could do this on other major indexes as well. And so what they do is the fund sells call options on these stocks or in an index. And then the premium received for selling the options provides extra income. So now here's some of the key characteristics and risk. Limited upside. If the stock price rises above the strike price, the ETF's gains are capped as the stock is called away. Downside risk. While the premiums offer some income, they do not fully protect against significant market declines, offering only limited downside protection. So this is telling you that, yes, they sound great and they can be great, but they're not perfect. So you need to understand what the risks are involved. Yeah, best market condition, best suited for income-focused investors during flat or mildly bullish markets. Look at the costs. That's very, very, very important. So as you're comparing various of these covered call ETFs, you want to compare, because again, not only this company, but other companies as well. Look at the expense ratio. The expense ratio can make a huge difference. When you look at the numbers, it may not look like a big number, but at the end of the year, the end of 10 years, it's going to make a very big difference. Okay. Now, tax implications. I always just tell people to please refer to your tax professional about that. All right. And yeah, okay, there you go. We got all that. Now, here's something interesting. So here what I have is a relative strength chart. Now, I talked about this in my last video. I recommend you go back and you learn how to use these relative strength or percentage change charts from my last video. Now we're going to apply that to these covered call ETFs. So I've got, again, our benchmark, the S&P 500 ETF Trust. That's the thick red line here. Let's see if I click on that, highlights this one here. Now, I've got three different covered call ETFs. So SPYI, so that would be, of course, the index that they're buying and that they're selling covered calls on is the SPDR, but also the Qs and the IWM. Now, let's look at what the performance has been since, so let's see, what's the beginning of this here? October 24th of last year. So as you could see, remember the red one here, that's your S&P 500, the benchmark. Now, pretty much all these other ETFs have outperformed it, except the blue one. And the blue one is our good friend, the QQQs, which some people find kind of unusual, kind of surprising. Well, wait a minute, isn't the big tech supposed to outperform just the regular stock market? Has not been. So don't assume anything about any index. Look at the data. Now, what about SPI? Because this one is the same as this, except this one, SPYI, also, it's going to follow the S&P 500, but it's also going to give you the income from the covered calls. So if we look at that, that's the green line. And look, it's actually even been outperforming the S&P 500 that doesn't offer an income on covered calls. So you'd actually be making more on the index itself, or in this case, losing less. Remember, there's downside protection. And so you're losing less. Instead of losing 5%, you've only lost 3%. And then you get the monthly income, which can help offset those losses. So we looked at the Qs, and now let's look at the IWM. That's the Russell 2000 small caps. I'm really going all over the place. So now this top line, that is the IWM, the Russell 2000 small caps. So again, we've got outperformance of just the index itself. And again, remember, you're getting your income on the covered calls. Here is another thing. Again, the biggest question I can hear people asking is, well, how is the income from these covered call ETFs different from a dividend? And so here they actually spell that right out. The income generated from options has a different sense of sensitivities and drivers than income from bonds or dividend-paying stocks. So, for example, traditional bond exposures, which provide income, They have interest rate risk. Equity options avoid interest rate risk. Instead, the yield from selling equity options is impacted by the implied equity market volatility. And that is a very good way of saying it. When the equity market volatility is high, option premiums will increase and push the yields higher. So completely different. The income is based on completely two different models. So there you go, my friend. That is a quick overview of a vehicle that you may not have considered before. And it's something interesting, not necessarily recommending it. Nothing is right for all people, but check it out. Consult with your financial advisor. And as always, I love to give away something for free. So today I'm giving away my free market timing indicator or my cycle indicator. And you can get that, right there at that website, as it says. I used to do this as a live webinar, and then people from around the world said, hey, I can't get on during that particular time. So I decided just to record the webinar, and now you can access it anytime you want. And you get the indicator in there, my own customized market timing indicator, which I use in every single trade I take. And you get a one video tutorial of how to trade it. So you become a self-empowered trader and you understand what signals and what patterns trigger high probability entries.